RiverBender.com. Now back to our daily show.
Show at 10:06 on this Halloween Monday, the 28th day of October. Taj Peoples joins us in the studio now, running for mayor.
Yes, sir.
So we were just talking before we came back on a little bit about what you're doing and how the race is going for you so far. And man, you're working and running your own campaign, and I love this. So when did you decide to do this?
So I'm gonna be honest. Like I think I started to run for mayor 3 years ago. When I seen it, but I didn't want to, I just wanted to observe, you know what I'm saying, see how the race went. So I seen how the race went, and I know I can do way better than what's been going on in the community and everything that's going on right now today.
Well, take me through your background a little bit. Some of the groups you've been a part of, organizations, you named a few, and just to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, so I used to volunteer actually here at the Riverbend Community Center. I used to volunteer for the Salvation Army. I participated in a group called Aces for Youth. I'm currently in a group right now called I See Men, but it's like for East St. Louis, it's not for Alton, so it kind of really don't matter because it's not on. But
you know what I think, honestly, man, not to argue with you on this because it's such a good point, but I think it does matter because just for folks to know a little bit about what you're doing and some of the groups, that's good to know about.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So whenever you're a younger guy and honestly, there's so much that goes into, knocking on the doors and having, all of those, character traits. What do you think helped you develop, that kind of sense to be able to go, I'm putting myself out there? Because it's easy to sit on the sidelines and talk all you want. But when you're running in the driver's seat, it's a whole different ballgame.
It's way different. And that's actually what's going on. A lot of people are just saying that they want to make change, they want to make a difference, but they're not doing anything. So I said, I might as well run for mayor and just do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and sit comfortably in your home and just let me go out here and do all the hard work so that you can have a safer environment, a cleaner environment, and we can have more to do for Alton.
Absolutely. And now, what are some of the key issues that you're wanting to focus on? You were just touching on a few of those. Is there a priority on these, or what are you seeing?
My priority is Alton is a thriving community, but we can't make it a thriving society unless we all work together. So I want to support the small businesses so we can make them bigger. We got Swagos, man. Swagos can be like the new Shop and Save, or we don't have Shop and Save no more. So I should say like Snooks or Walmart, but we're not supporting it because it costs too much. But at the same time, it's just like I went to Game Over. I went 3 times. They changed their thing. It was free at first. All you gotta do is buy like a sandwich. Then it was like $11 per hour. Now it's like $20 and you get like 80 credits. So I feel like a lot of people are saying, oh, that's too expensive, that's too expensive. But my thing about it is you guys would go like outside of the city as far as Fairview Heights or St. Louis and go to Chuck E. Cheese's and spend that, kind of money, or go to Dave & Buster's, but you won't support it in your community. So once he gets the support and gets more people coming in, he can start to adjust his prices more accordingly. So we just gotta support those small businesses.
It's a good point to make. I mean, honestly, I say it all the time where, we'll have someone come on the show and they'll get tens of thousands of views and then no one will share it locally. But the moment that they're on Fox 2 for 30 seconds, the whole world and
the whole world,
it's like, oh, thanks for,
Why are we not supporting our own community? It doesn't make any sense. I do have more ideas that I want to do as well. Like I want to make a building called Information, and it's going to have 3 different points. So the first point is to get information on stuff that we can't look up online that we need more knowledge on. So it would give us the knowledge. Secondly, as far as cleaning up the streets, we can have the homeless work, out of that building or whatever, and then it would provide a place for them to stay. So they'll just be working for the organization as far as like doing concrete, doing all type of things like that, and then they have a place to stay while they're working. You know what I'm saying? But everybody gets off days, so they'll still have 2 off days.
So with that, because that's an interesting point. So with that, would they be just picking up trash? Would it be labor jobs in your mind?
The information I really want to, it's going to have 3 sides. So the third part is for the people who are young and don't have the experience, it's going to give them experience to get into like a trade that they want to get into, like welding or like we can't pay them, right? But we can still teach them the knowledge on how to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm trying to be a welder, I'll go take the classes, I'll learn how to be a welder, and then eventually I can go get a job that's going to let me weld. So it's just more about just getting the training down. So we would train the homeless people. We'd give them a place to stay, you know, food to eat and stuff like that. And then they can get off the streets. And then also, you know, we can clean up the streets.
Absolutely.
By doing that.
It's an idea, man. It's a good one.
Sir.
You know, it's a good thought to think about at least, and, you know, have those conversations on, you know, what it would mean.
Put that in place.
Yeah. And, you know, when you're knocking on doors and, you know, you're having those conversations, what are those constituents telling you about?
Ooh, honestly, a lot of them agree with me. They're like, what? Like, okay, cool. Like, you want to get back to like the needy, help the homeless. What about the people who's not homeless, but they're just like in between? I said, okay, we got something for them too. Let's come down here to the information, because I want to name the building information. Come down to the building to the information, and then we'll guide you on the right path.
Right.
We would have mentors that can, like a lot of parents, they're struggling with their kids, doing all type of things or whatever that they don't want them to do. So we have mentors that can guide them towards the right path. So it's just like, why do we have mentors and we don't have the students for the mentors? Like, we have a lot of the students, but they don't either have the knowledge on how to reach out to the mentors, or they just don't care enough. So let's make them care. Let's tell the youth that, hey, we see y'all. You're going through a lot, so let's help y'all.
Well, and you know, with that being said too, you know, with that conversation of, you know, youth and being engaged, and I'm sure folks are like, that is a great idea, because my whole thought about, you know, platforms and policy and ideas are, if you know, if you aren't thinking about it, then it's never going to change anyway. So all thoughts are good, and they lead into a positive direction because they start a conversation.
Right.
You know, and when you're knocking on doors though too, you know, how that point alone kind of falls into three different sectors, because you're kind of talking about homelessness, you're talking about, you know, crime, because it all goes in, you know, not saying homelessness causes crime, but saying that they're talking about, you know, hey, you know, these folks that are, you know, maybe on probation that could have a different outlet, you know, or the homeless folks that just need that opportunity, or unhoused folks that need that opportunity to learn and get better. It kind of goes into that same gap. And now, whenever they're talking to you, they mention the roads at all? I'm just curious.
Yeah, a lot of people do mention the roads, and I say, like, I can't do anything right now because I'm not in office, but we would have those homeless people trained on how to do concrete, and then we'll fix those roads. A lot of the roads they don't want to fix because, you know, it ties to all in history. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to fix them. Yeah,
I mean, that's true. But I mean, with that too, though, I mean, with where you have like a point of contact that's running the project, and you're just so, I mean, for the people that aren't too much trained, you'd have like a team there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm trying to figure that. Yeah, that's cool. I
have my team.
Yeah.
Right? I have my team. But I support myself, but I still have a lot of supporters, and I'll say that.
No. I meant with this project, like because you were talking about the unhoused, like doing concrete and stuff. Would there be like a point team that would be directing each project?
Of course.
Oh, that's what I meant. Okay, because I was just trying for the audience that are trying to connect it. I wanted to make sure that that's a good point.
I mean, like, in order to be able to teach people concrete, we need somebody to actually know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So the building will have three different sides. So one would be the teaching, you know, one would be the information, and then one would be like, you know, for the homeless to be able to get involved. You know, we want the youth to gain more experience. We want the homeless to have more opportunities, and we just want to clean the streets up.
So, and that's a great, I mean, honestly, man, that's why I wanted to make sure it was known, just so, you know, people knew a little bit more about that 2 + 2 to get to 4, man. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's my biggest catchphrase. 2 + 2 is 4. Like, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
There you go. So, you know, what really, whenever you're watching this, you know, kind of happen, you're in, you know, the city, in your opinion, a lot of people's opinions, not doing as well as we can. You know, was there a final kind of like, not straw? I don't want to say straw, because that always sounds like it's a violent thing, but like, was there a final like kind of kicking the can down the road? Or that you just said, you know what?
It was. I mean, time after time, we see these politicians run for mayor, and they promise so much. And starting off, they might do it. Like, I know Walker, when he first started, he came in saying, hey, I'm gonna do this and that. And the first year, he kept his promises, but then he realized that he could say no. Right? So once he realized he could say no, he started turning down new businesses. He started turning out new ideas that we had. And then he wanted to wait until it was time to get reelected to start doing more stuff. I feel like, you know, David's doing the same thing right now. You know, he came in with so many promises or whatever, not fulfilling a lot of them. And then now that he sees the races coming again, now he's trying to build new apartment projects or whatever. You know, it's just like, why wait till you're about to get reelected to do stuff? You know, do stuff the whole time that you're, you know, in the running. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get 4 years to make a change. Don't wait till like the last year to say, oh, let's do this and that and that. What? That's preposterous.
So, just to follow up, just because we like to make sure we're getting everything across, is there any business that you know of that was specifically turned down from both either the previous administration or David Goins?
Yeah, so I'm actually reaching out to them right now. We're in the process of getting something going on.
Okay.
So I don't want to spoil all the fun that we could have had for the community, but I'll definitely go into more detail another time because I do want to come back.
And I just wanted to ask you that just because it's always proper for me to follow up on those
I don't want to say the ideas that people had and somebody else takes them. You know what I'm saying? I want to reach out to the original people that have the ideas and give them an opportunity to come back to the community and give back. And then once we get that in the work, then I'll come forth and go about it. I don't want to spoil anything that can make on just amazing city.
But there's no is there a specific person that that was turned down by both administrations?
I don't know personally.
Okay.
I'll say that, but I mean, we know the people who got turned down.
Okay.
We have to do a lot of homework to find out this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Not arguing with it, just because it's always good to kind of make sure we clear that. But I really like the excitement that you bring, because with this, I mean, no one that's this young ever decides to run for office, man.
Right?
And it is not easy. Right. By any stretch of
trust me, it's not easy.
But what led you, do you think, being so comfortable in this? Because you aren't acting like somebody who's a little bit younger running for mayor, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have a little bit of a, I don't want to say it.
I'll say
and it's really interesting, man, and I really mean that.
I'll say a lot of people in the community have drive. But one thing they don't have is the gas. So I want to be the person that give everybody the gas so that they can, be able to drive. That's really what I want to do. A lot of people have ideas, but they don't have and that's why I want to build the information. Okay, how can you turn your idea into a business? We want more new businesses in Alton, but we also want to support the businesses that's already here so they can, bring in new revenue. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If we support the small businesses, they become big enough to where we have more revenue. Now we can open up new businesses and just, make on the thriving community. That's what it's all about. I feel like because I'm young, people think that I'm underexperienced or whatever, but I've been doing this since 2013 in the streets trying to, make it a better place. But it seemed like every time we'll get to a point where we feel like we're going somewhere, a dead end. Dead end. So we got tired of the dead ends and said, how about we just run for mayor, right? And then we won't have any dead ends because the approval have to come through me. So it's just we're tired of the dead ends. So we just want to be able to make on just the community that we know it is.
And do you have a moment to stick around, man?
Oh, of course.
We're going to take a quick pause here. 10:18, a little bit of change. More of this conversation coming down the pipeline with mayoral candidate Peoples right after this.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1,000,000. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Welcome back to our daily show on RiverBender.com.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkin scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat till the neighbor's gonna die of fright. It's our town, everybody scream. In this town of Halloween. I am the one hiding under your bed. Teeth ground sharp and eyes glowing red. I am the one.
1021, welcome back to this 28th day of October. It's a Monday morning in downtown Alton. I haven't had a day off in a while, so I'm really excited. And it's not John's fault upstairs. I just want to make this clear, Taj. I had to coach soccer, so I'm excited to say that after I talk with you and Mary Cordes from Hainer, we'll be wrapping it up and calling it a good Monday. But, you know, I really, and I've said this on the show, it takes a lot to put your name on the petitions and to go knock on the door. And being a little bit younger, you know, I'm sure the question gets asked of you, you know, well, do you have the experience level? And, you know, take me through that, because it seems like just talking to you during the break, you do have a team around you that really is propelling you and gonna, you know, really help elevate that. And you're only as good as your team anyway.
Right. So, honestly, like I said, I've been doing this since 2013. I've been on the streets making a change or whatever, but not big of a change, because each time we try to make a change, we run into like a dead end. So the team that I have now consists of millionaires. I have 2 millionaires on my side. We're on the way of working on a third one. I don't want to say who the third one is, because we're supposed to protect the people who, like, if I don't actually make it as the candidate, I want to protect them. I don't want the, you know, people that's already in office to try to attack the person saying, oh, you tried to go against us or whatever. So I want to protect the third one. But my team consists of 2 millionaires, possibly a third, and just a bunch of, like, you know, people that's motivated and hungry to make change. A lot of people want to make change, but when they actually come to doing it, that's when they freeze up, or they might not know the steps to you know, be able to change. So I don't want to judge them based on that, but I feel like if we all came together as society, we can really be thriving. You know what I'm saying? Really, like, just come together and let's, you know, so you see somebody trying to, people my age all the time, you know what I'm saying, normally, you know, would go down a different path. I'll say that.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, because you and I are both younger.
Right.
You know, you graduated 3 years before I did, because I graduated in 2017. But, you know, I always get so tired of being on the show and hearing about how, because I do the community calendar. If you look during the weekends, there's like 60 different things to do every day. But it seems like people our age go, well, why the heck are we even, and why the hell are we in Alton? You know, I could go to St. Louis, or I can go to Georgia or Atlanta, or I can go to Florida, or I can go to LA or New York.
And that's facts.
But I want to ask you this, because it seems like you've created quite a life for yourself, living here in this area, and we're able to have the same opportunities you would have if you moved to a bigger city. And I wanted to touch on that, because it seems like young people maybe just don't realize that we have a rich history, we have all this greatness around us. Of
course.
You know, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, I feel like as far as people don't have the information, you know what I'm saying? Or they go to their friends first and say, hey, I want to do this. And what your friends say when they first start off, oh, yeah, I'll support you. And then, but then when you actually do it, you know, they don't support. So it's just like, no, and I'm being serious, though.
I got to say this. This is the first time I've ever told the political candidate they were right on my show. Because you are right. Your friends are always going to go, oh, man, that's a great idea. And then you call them, and it's like, well, actually, my dog's nephew got sick, and I can't get
just whatever excuse they can make, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like I had to really, like, I had to go outside of my friends, make connections, let them see my thoughts and my views or whatever, just to pull them in to get the support from my friends, because my friends saw that they'll support somebody when they see it's cool to support somebody, you know what I'm saying? They'll wait till it's too late. Like, why not be the moment that made the change, instead of like waiting till the change happened and then try to hop on board? No, help me make the change, and then we all can, like, laughing the glory together. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone wants to win. You know, that's the problem. Everyone wants to be on the winning team.
And we definitely had so many losses, but as far as winning, you just never give up.
Yeah, exactly.
You never give up.
I love it because I've always talked about this. You know, it's so funny on election night because once that darn thing's over, and the next day that phone's ringing about, hey, just wanted to get lunch, you know, but you know, you have to put the work in no matter what the reward is. Because you know what? I think that even losing is a reward because we got to run for public office and we got people to understand and agree with our platform. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So even if I lose the race by chance, it still will bring back hope to let people know that they can at least try to do the goals and dreams that they want to chase. But a lot of people are too afraid to even do that.
So I got to ask you, what, you know, is there a specific individual, organization, or event that you think maybe kind of changed your perspective on leadership, or maybe, you know, kind of helped aid into that? Because it really does. I mean, you're just talking about some of these groups you're working with. I can only imagine the conversations you're having with the folks that you're serving. Do you ever think about those conversations, and does that help you kind of direct what your policy or platform is going to be? Because I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they're lost. Like, they don't really know what they want to do or whatever. So overall, I just want to be a beacon. You know what I'm saying? So I made my own design. I made it pink for breast cancer awareness month or whatever, but this is my sign, and this is gonna be a beacon. Like, it's a troll. He has wings. He has the M on his pants for mayor, and he has a microphone, letting people know that I'm gonna be the voice of the people. I'm gonna be able to, and I really consider myself a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Because I was raised by older people, telling me a lot of knowledge, so I have a connection with the older generation, but I'm also young enough to have a connection with the younger generation. So I always consider myself a bridge, and I'll be able to, you know what I'm saying, close the gap between older generations and younger generations. So I feel like I'm just going to be that beacon.
Well, and honestly, it's really good to have, you know, you on the show, because every candidate, and I've said this, everyone has an open invitation. Some have already been on the show, some have not, but it's good to know who you are as a person too, because news media, and that's what I hate about this thing now, not this show, but other shows, is you get 5 minutes. And it's like, well, how do you really get across 5 to 10 minutes what you want to say? So have an extend to get to know you a little bit, because listen, you're learning every day. And now I got a question for you. Do you have any idea what day one would look like if there is a victory on election night?
So day one, you won't see too much change, because like, Alton has been through so much, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't realize that since Alton been through so much, I have to literally go through every single thing that was wrong with the society and change it. So day one won't look like, you know, too much of a victory, but by that first year, you're going to see the change. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything takes time, but you got to be willing to put in that time and put in that effort. And a lot of people don't want to put in that time and effort, but I'm definitely here to put in that time. I'm definitely, you know, here to put in that effort.
Yeah, and now do you have a campaign website or social media?
No, so right now we're just doing everything just locally. We're not doing any online or anything like that. We wanted to cut down the costs, you know, for the campaign. Just, you know, so if I didn't make it or whatever, we wouldn't lose too much, you know, money or whatever. But it brings in new revenue, you know what I'm saying, automatically. So a lot of people, they're like afraid because I'm younger, I might not have new ideas or whatever, but it's because I'm younger, I have fresher ideas, I have new ideas, I'm not corrupted by politicians, you know what I'm saying? So voting for somebody younger is honestly the best way to go.
You know, and honestly, I can't thank you enough for having this conversation, and really just... I'm excited to see how this race goes for you. And you're welcome back anytime. That microphone's open for you and any other candidates as well. But just hearing you a little bit, and I've told young people this, quit going to social media and going to all these things and letting people know how you feel. If you really want to make a change, you got to do it. And it's not going to be fun sometimes, but if you really want something, you do it. And I hats off to you.
Build you a team too. Like, a lot of people don't realize that, like, doing stuff yourself is like, it's really hard. But if you have a team that can support you, oh my goodness, you can achieve so much.
My favorite speech I ever gave was to a group of students. I said, you can either sink like the Titanic, or together as a team, you'll reach those prosperous fields of gold. You know, that's really all it is. I think really my favorite catchphrase is, Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream, I have a vision. He died for his dream, so what do you think I'll do for my vision? I think that's my favorite motto to say. You know, and honestly, Taj, thank you so much for your time, and really for making it work, because I know that Man, I get so many texts. I was like trying to respond to you, and you really bent your schedule to me today, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, best of luck with everything. You're welcome back,
Thank you so
keep me
much.
updated on the campaign.
Thanks for having me, man. It was really a pleasure being on here.
The April 1st consolidated election in 2025 is coming down the pipeline faster than you can ever imagine. The general election, folks, is in 8 days.
Yes.
We're almost here. And
Yes.
Taj, thank you for joining us. We'll have everything in a write-up, and we'll make sure we connect everybody.
Okay, thank you so much.
10:30 on the nose. Mary Cordes, Hainer Library, Beyond the Shelves next.